So we are going to get right into our first speaker today, and that is Amanda Kretschmer, who is a DNR warden with Brown County. And I'm going to stop share so that we can see Amanda. So good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about your career ladder and how you got where you are today.
Yeah, it's a great question. So hopefully you guys can see me good. I'm on my work cell phone where we can't use our state computers for Zoom. So hopefully you can see my face all right. But my name is Amanda Kretschmer. I am a conservation warden with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. I work out of Brown County specifically. So I am the inland warden. So I cover essentially all things within Brown County. I love my job and I'm excited to talk to you guys about it today. So my career path to where I got to be where I am now. I I'm from Burlington, Wisconsin, down in the southeast part of the state. Always enjoyed being outdoors, hunting, fishing, just being outside. And I went through high school, graduated high school, didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to go and get a college education. So I went to UW Oshkosh for a year, and then I ended up transferring to UW Whitewater. Thought I wanted to be a teacher, so I was doing some kind of prereqs for that, and I took a geography course. Ended up falling in love with the natural resource field, and I graduated from UW Whitewater with a bachelor's degree in geography, and then an environmental studies minor. Graduated college, still didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I ended up moving down to Kansas and I worked for a engineering company. And I was sitting behind a desk, didn't really enjoy it, missed Wisconsin. I was lucky enough to get a job, a part-time job with the Department of Natural Resources in Madison. And essentially I was making maps. Loved working for the department, wasn't happy behind a computer. I was fortunate enough to be working in downtown Madison, kind of our central hub, and I decided to start networking, which got me into, at the time, the recruiter's office. Chatted with him, went on a few ride-alongs, fell in love, and was lucky enough to get hired my first time applying. So 5 years later, here I am today. I've been doing this. It was 5 years in January, and I absolutely love it. If you would have told me 7 years ago that I would be doing what I'm doing today, or I would be a law enforcement officer, I probably would have laughed at that idea. And now I love it, and I can't see myself doing anything else. So, a day in the life of a warden. There's really no typical day in the life, and that's my favorite part about what I do is no 2 days are ever the same. There's no typical day. Oftentimes, what you're going to hear when we get asked that question is there's no such thing as a typical day. It depends on the season, given what we're doing from day to day. So our two main goals, though, as conservation wardens, is to protect the public, uh, and then protect the natural resources. So I work for the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. So that's a statewide government agency. Um, I'm essentially, the easiest way to explain what conservation wardens do is I'm a police officer for the DNR. I'm a police officer for the outdoors, for nature. That kind of seems to help some people understand what we do. So we are certified law enforcement officers. You have to go through an academy. But really what we do is enforce fish and game laws. We get out there this time of year. If anyone likes to snowmobile, if you live in Brown County, we've got a couple zones open. So I'm out riding on my snowmobile, checking, making sure people are being safe. Ice fishing this time of year as well. But the big things that we do is hunting, fishing, trapping. We do that type of enforcement. We ensure people are being safe. We want people to be out there having fun. We just want to make sure people are being safe and they're following the laws. Uh, the DNR, creates laws and we manage natural resources for a reason. And so my job is to enforce those laws. We also do work in our state parks. So if anyone goes to state parks to camp, hike, bike, snowshoe, ski, do whatever, we are law enforcement in state parks as well. What's really neat about our job, and I say that a lot about everything about what I do, but what's really neat is we get to work with a lot of people within the DNR. So our bread and butter really is fishing game and wrecked vehicles. So getting out there, working deer hunters, bear hunters, checking people's fishing licenses, working out of a boat, ATV, a sled, a snowmobile, apologize. That really is kind of the bread and butter of what we do. But we also work with everyone within the Department of Natural Resources. So we help people in forestry, we help waterways staff, we investigate manure spills or EE complaints. Like I said, our job is to protect the resources, and that's the air, water, the air you breathe, the water you drink, and the dirt that you stand on. We also work with other agencies as well. So I work in Brown County, and what's really neat is I get to work with other law enforcement agencies in the county. So I work with the Sheriff's Department, Green Bay Police Department, um, De Pere PD, Pulaski PD. So I get to go out and help them as well, and they help me. I wouldn't be able to do my job without the help of local law enforcement agencies. So we get to work with a lot of different people, and we wear a lot of different hats. Like I said, no day is the same. One of the really great things too about our job is we make our own schedule. So today, I have this talk. This morning I did a little bit of work at home, and then I'll go out in the field this afternoon. So we are our own bosses. I've got a boss that I have to report to. Don't get me, I've got a boss, but essentially I don't have someone telling me, Amanda, you've got to work from 6A to 6P 3 days this week, and then you get 3 days off. I make my own schedule. We have scheduled days off, but for the most part, you're making your own schedule. You don't have someone telling you where you got to be, when you have to be there, what you have to be doing. So it's great, very flexible. We also, COVID has kind of changed the way we do things, which is obviously changed the way, you guys are doing these job spotlights. I assume that they used to be in person. But we attend, not currently, but before COVID, learn to hunt events, snowmobile, safety education classes, hunter's ed classes. We get to go to outdoor expos. If anyone's ever gone to the boat show or the Hunters Expo in Green Bay that they typically have every year. So we get to go out and, interact with the community. A big part of what I like to do is build relationships within the community. We are law enforcement officers, and we want to make sure that the community can trust us. So a big part of what I do is going out and community policing, really trying to interact with the public, whether that's at school events, something like this, going to an expo, going to the Snowmobile Alliance meeting, a lot of different opportunities within, a career as a conservation warden. I could go on and on and on. Lynn, is there anything specific, in regards to a day in the life, or is
I
there
have
something
a
else
question
that you know?
about your education background. You talked about you having a bachelor's in geography and a minor in environmental studies. Is that pretty normal for conservation wardens to have a bachelor's degree, or are there other options for students to get into this program?
That's a great question. So without taking up too much time, the minimum requirements to apply to even be considered to be a conservation warden is 60 college credits, and 60 college credits equals an associate's degree. I will say that is the minimum, and I really, really stress on the word minimum qualifications, because we are very fortunate. We hire essentially every year. We hire anywhere from 10 to 20 wardens every year. We are hiring this coming April. Now you guys are all in high school. You have to be at least 18 and have, like I said, 60 college credits. So you can apply this year, but we get anywhere from 400 to 800 applicants every year for 15-ish, give or take, positions. With that being said, a lot of people that we do hire, I shouldn't say tend to, but they have that bachelor's degree, because that puts you one step above someone, let's say, right? On paper, if you're equal to one other person and it comes down to 2 applicants, you've got to get something that puts you above that other applicant. So minimum 60 college credits, associate's degree, but that bachelor's degree may set you above a few other people and get you the job. One other just thing that I will say, I see Lynn's face, so I got about a minute left. A big thing that we look for when we're hiring people is community servants. So we are public servants. Law enforcement officers are public servants. A big thing, that we want people to have is people that are in the community volunteering, doing things. And I get a lot of questions of, well, what does that mean? It can be something as little as, I shouldn't say little. It's just something as simple as just going to a soup kitchen every once in a while and serving people in need. Volunteering on Earth Day and picking up trash along the side of the highway. Going and being a volunteer apprentice at a hunter's ed talk. But volunteering is a big thing. So, we really stress that importance because we are public servants, and to do a job as any law enforcement officer, you really want to have that need and desire to want to help and serve the public.
That's great information, because I don't think that that really has been something emphasized with any other career that we've looked at. So that's great to know. Allison, any questions in the chat or that you have?
I don't see any in the chat, but Amanda, are you responsible for like this certain section of the state, and someone else is responsible for this one over here?
Yeah, great question. Knowing that I only have 10 minutes, I apologize that it's just kind of piecemealed together. I could talk about this for hours, but so there's 72 counties in the state of Wisconsin. Every county has anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 wardens in it. So my administrative area, we call it, is Brown County. With that being said, I have jurisdiction statewide to go and enforce, state laws. So I can go and work over in La Crosse County, and help them out, if I need to. But we have administrative areas. So I'm the Brown County Conservation Warden, and I'm the only warden in inland Brown County. And then we have Gavin Brault. He's actually the Marine Warden. So he covers the Bay and then part of the Fox River. And then let's say you go up to Door County, though, there's 4 wardens there, because it's a bigger county, and then they also cover Lake Michigan. So great question, though. We have wardens in every county. Just depends on the need for how many wardens are in that county.
That's great. Thank you.
Great.